One of the interesting things about the start of Unrivaled is that it's just been a concept up until this point. Now we're starting to see it in reality, which brings some things to the table that are interesting in real life, right? Like, so when you're just talking about the ideas, that's one thing. When you start to see the jerseys, that's another. And then when you start to see the link ups, yet that is another. And one of those link ups that's going to have a lot of people talking is simply a small hype video of Angel Reese and Lexie Hull. And I got to be honest, I forgot they were on the same club. I guess I remember when it was first announced that that was a thing because, of course, Lexie Hull plays for the Indiana Fever. Angel Reese plays for the Chicago Sky. The Fever and the Sky are going to play each other 150 times next year, more times than any other two teams play each other. I think it's fair to call it a rivalry, whether the players want to call it a rivalry or not. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is a bit of a rivalry. Whether we want to dub it a rivalry or whether they want to dub it a rivalry or not. And therefore, there are certain reactions to seeing a player on the Fever with Reese. And Reese, I don't know if she bought into that per se or just was hyping up her new teammate on the Rose Basketball Club. But that's something that made a little waves on social media. I think this was from Angel Reese's Snapchat.
Go Lex! Okay.
So that's her teammate.
Go Lex! Okay.
Lexie Hull, Angel Reese, teammates. And I even saw people joking about Reese recruiting her to the Sky. Let's calm down. And a correlation had a good response to that with the Caitlin Clark golden mug. And that's another aspect to the Hull and Reese thing is not only are Clark and Hull teammates, but they're close. It seemed like along with Boston, who she developed the bond with, the closest bond she had off the floor was with Lexie Hull, and they got to a lot of adventures off the court. Obviously, Hull and Reese being unrivaled teammates is not actually going to bother Caitlin Clark or any Fever fans, really. But it is just like a sight. It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing, right? Like it's one of those. And you saw that, just even seeing any other player in a different jersey. Because I think you had Sabrina Ionescu sporting her Phantom threads. You're just so used to seeing her wearing Liberty that it's going to be jarring to see her in a different uniform. Same goes, for so many different players in the league. And Angel, to her credit, is probably going to do a good job hyping up the entire league, right? Like she's sort of born to do the social media promotion. That's in her bag. And she was having some fun with Kalia Copper, who's another one of her teammates.
Hey, y'all.
Ain't this what y'all been waiting for? Huh? Yeah, that's me. Oh, you not? Oh, yeah. They said, okay, they did say they want us to do the TikTok.
She don't want to get on my TikTok. I have a TikTok. What TikTok y'all want to see us doing?
What is that? That's a TikTok?
That's the one on the wall.
Grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're not that old.
30. This is 30. 30 is like, I'm going to record you do the TikTok.
See, she don't want to do it.
We're going to see. We're going to see. We're
Okay.
going to work on it.
All right. Well, I don't know whether it matters if they do a TikTok or not. I don't know what that counts for or what that's good for, but some of the behind the scenes footage there. And just to refresh, let's go through the rosters real quick because I think that's probably prudent. You got the Laces here, and on the Laces, Jackie Young, Tiffany Hayes. On top of that, you have Kayla McBride, Alyssa Thomas, Kate Martin, and Stephanie Dolson. So solid squad there. I mean, I think these teams are going to be pretty evenly matched. This team, I'd be worried about the scoring a little bit and the creation perhaps a little bit, but that's the Laces roster. Then we can go back and take a look at the Lunar Owls, where you've got Nafisa Collier, obviously a hell of a player. Courtney Williams teaming up back with Collier. She was part of that trade, right? These are updated, I hope. Skylar Diggins-Smith, a little intensity to the squad. Alicia Gray, some shooting there. Shakira Austin and Cam Brink, who won't be playing. But I like the makeup of this team with Fee and Williams. You do have some shot creation there and some shooting with Gray. And then, of course, Fee being the all-around player that she is. The Mist, Brianna Stewart, Dejanay Carrington, Courtney Vandersloot, Jewel Lloyd, Aaliyah Edwards, and Rakia Jackson. Interesting to see how Rakia Jackson will do in that format. She can really score the basketball. The Phantom, Satu Sabali, teaming up with Sabrina Ionescu again. Marina Mabry, Brittany Griner, some size there. Natasha Cloud, Katie Lou Samuelson. Wonder how she'll fit in there. And Sabrina Ionescu. I'm a fan of that roster too because you got the shooting of Sabrina, the scoring of Mabry, Sabali's all-around abilities, and the size of Brittany Griner. The Rose Basketball Club. There is Angel Reese, Chelsea Gray. I don't know how effective she'll be as a scorer in a 3-on-3, but we'll see. Brittany Sykes, Kalia Copper, there's a bucket getter. Azura Stevens, and Lexie Hull. I don't know if I love that roster, to be honest. Copper's going to have to score a lot of points for that team. And finally, the Vinyl Basketball Club. Arike Agumbawale, Ray Burrell, Ryan Howard, Leah Boston, Jordan Canada, and Dearica Hamby. Boston and Arike make that fairly formidable. But on paper, I might have to go with the Lunar Owls or the Phantom, to be honest with you, just seeing them right away. But there you have it. Unrivaled, getting ready to get going. And you have some of those sites that I guess you didn't think you'd necessarily see, right? Sky players teaming up with Fever players and just the whole mix-up. I'm going to have to wait to see some of those players out on the floor together in the same uniform before it really hits me. I did my best to walk us through it there. But same thing goes for that, initial site of Sabrina in the Phantom jersey or Lexie Hull and Angel Reese wearing the same jerseys and all these other players wearing different jerseys than you're used to seeing them in because you just watched the whole WNBA season. And a lot of people are new fans to the WNBA too. So you have fans who have watched teams and players play on certain teams for a long time. And then you have fans who have only identified with players in a short period of time in their respective roles with respective teams, because there is some player movement in the WNBA. But either way, I think it's a little bit of a, it's going to take some getting used to. And I think the curiosity factor, as I said in the jersey reveal video, is going to go a long way for Unrivaled when they indeed get started here in just a couple of weeks. It's going to be fascinating to see. I'm going to be fascinated to cover it and see how well it does, see if they find success.